Hey there, folks. Here we are again. Welcome to Renegade Butcher Live. Appreciate anybody who stopped in. Little scheduling issue this morning. It was kind of a last minute thing to try to get this all going here. I see Autumn Dawn Endeavors down there. Appreciate you joining in on the stream. Hey, Johnny is on his way. He should be here in the next 10 minutes or so. He's getting back from picking up some fence supplies. So, if you all remember, back in around episode, I think it was 10, I had Johnny from Rebel Poultry. He has a TikTok channel. I think that's really his only social media that he uses right now. He's too busy doing awesome shit to be out there promoting it all too much. So, I ran into him on TikTok early on after I got the show started, and was really impressed by what he had rolling. We had a great conversation. I think we talked about 2 hours on the phone one day before I decided to bring him on the show. Yeah, it was a great interview, and been almost a year now. So I think it was back in May last year. So looking forward to getting him back on here. Oh, hey, Scrambling and Kyle. Good to see you guys. All right. Appreciate you dropping in. Kyle will be joining us soon. Scrambling says he heard me on TSP. I've been on TSP a couple times now. That's awesome. If you guys hadn't heard, yeah, I'm on the Expert Council for the Survival Podcast now. And if you're a member support brigade member, be sure to use that discount for shit you buy at renegadebutcher.com. But speaking of, the reason I'm trying to do a show here on Saturday, I had a math error, believe it or not. Oh my God. Math is hard. Numbers are hard. I was talking the other day when I was on Brian's show saying that my episode 50 will be coming up in May and I'm going to do a giveaway. Not thinking about the fact that I was on 34, 35 back then. And if I keep it my normal schedule, there's no way that's going to happen in May. So I decided, you know what? Let me try to squeeze in a few more episodes now that things are starting to catch up and I've got a little bit more time. If I can get some weekend interviews in, that's great. And Johnny was the first one that popped into mind as somebody I'd love to have back on the show. You know, we can't just keep having Kyle on for every episode. Kyle says, best birthday present ever. Kyle, is it your birthday today? I didn't realize. Well, happy birthday, everybody. Give Kyle a happy birthday. If you are in the stream, let him know. Is it today or is it just soon? Either way, be sure to join the Telegram group over there at t.me/libertymeatchat and come and give him a warm welcome and a happy birthday. He's an active member of the community. He's doing a lot of awesome shit up there in New Hampshire. So be sure to check him out. He's been on the show, 3 or 4 times now, and I'm sure he will be back today. Kyle, how old are you today? I know you threw your back out yesterday. Was it from partying too hard for the pre-birthday stuff? Is that really what it was? Oh, but that said, I mentioned the 50th episode giveaway. That is something I don't know exactly what day that's going to land on yet, but I will announce it. But my deal to y'all is if we can get YouTube to 1,000 followers by the 50th episode, I'm going to give away a year of the Seasoning of the Month Club to one person. You know, just help us push to that goal. If we get to that goal, make it worth my while, because then I'll be able to monetize YouTube. If people want to send super chats and stuff, great. That'll be worth the $150 value that I'm adding out in there. There will be some other stuff in the giveaway. I'll be, one way or another, there's going to be a giveaway. But that's going to be the big prize if we can get there. So go out, let your friends know, share this in your communities to people who are interested in food freedom, butchery, stuff like that. Go hack your grandma's computer and follow me on your YouTube account, you know, whatever. Anyways, let's see here. Kyle, you're 31. Kyle, are you serious? You're only 31? Wow, what a youngster. He's doing some awesome shit over there, though, guys. You should go follow him at the Body Shop Custom Butchery and Taxidermy on Facebook. And I know he's got, what's your farm name? Drop it in the comments if you would, Kyle. I've got his links on the previous episodes and stuff. You can find him. But like I said, jump in Telegram. Easy way to catch up with him. Yeah, we mentioned the TSP thing. That's been fun. I was on Jack's show back June last year, but there's been so much that's happened lately. That's why I went on Brian's show recently and just did a big update interview on all the new stuff. Me being on the expert council, I've had a couple of questions now, 2 Fridays in a row. I've been up there. Had a guy ask me the other day about, Jack forwarded me a submission from a guy in Australia, and he was asking about meat safety and processing at home, and how does he know that your carcass is safe? And what do you look for? So I did the best I could to answer that. Jack had some great words of wisdom to add in after that. So that's a great one to listen into. If you're not following the Survival Podcast, I don't know what's wrong with you. No, but it's a great show. It's been going for 15 years, one of the longest running podcasts on the air. And it's not all doom and gloom and conspiracy theory bullshit. It's all real life stuff. So go check it out. Let's see here. Scramblin' says, Lightning for Liberty, have Jack on. We are going to fire Lightning for Liberty back up Tuesday. Wednesday. Tuesday. Yeah, we're going to do it before my show Tuesday. It's been a while. We took a little break from it, kind of ran out of things to talk about. Didn't want to just waste dead airtime for nothing. So me and Brian have had so much going on lately, especially with the Nostr stuff. So we are going to focus on that primarily and a few other Lightning updates on Tuesday. Maybe we'll get somebody live on the show kind of onboarded with Nostr. Maybe we'll just show some really informative videos along with our discussion. We'll see. Depends on how things work out. And somebody may be coming on the after party or Lightning for Liberty, depending on scheduling this week that you may know and be getting onboarded, and we'll work with them directly because we've been playing back and forth. In fact, this morning, I spent a good hour or two on my spare phone, my work phone, setting up Nostr and Albi and Blue Wallet and all that fun stuff. Just from the start, fresh install, to show how everything works out. Did a screen record of it, got that stuff off to Brian because he is putting it together from the Apple side and from just starting on the computer, and he's going to build a whole educational video series on wherever you start from this, how to get into Nostr today, hook it up, be able to do value for value with Lightning and make it easy, whether it's computer, Apple, iPhone, Android, whatever you use. So that said, by the way, if you are on Nostr and you are an Android user on Amethyst, check out, follow me. My pub key is down here in the notes, and it's on all my stuff. I'm posting now the polls for what seasoning to do next there, as well as I need to post it in Telegram yet, but I usually post those on the weekends because I do those videos on Tuesday during my show. So be sure to check it out. And if you're over there and you use Amethyst, go vote. It's like sending a zap. So it's pretty cool. Like the concept a lot. And hey, it's value for a poll. But so far, Rosemary is in the lead. If you don't want to hear about Rosemary next week, let me know. Should be later today. If not, at the latest tomorrow, I'll post that poll up in Telegram as well if you're not a Nostr user. And I think you should check it out. It's kind of like if Twitter and Bitcoin had a baby. It's decentralized. You don't even have to use the whole Bitcoin aspect of it. It's integrated, so it's super cool. And if you are using Bitcoin and you're not on Nostr, what are you doing? I've actually made money just by posting stuff, and people will just tip because of that. So worth checking out. Let's see here. Gingerbread says, are you talking about me? No. Well, I know tomorrow night, I think the plan is on Tim's show. If I recall, you and Brian are going, Tim and Brian are going to help you get set up their Gingerbread Farms on Nostr and a bunch of Lightning stuff and whatnot. We've kind of dipped your toes in the water a little bit already when it comes to that in the Telegram chats. But I know you've been kind of holding back because you want it to be a fresh start and an educational thing for everybody. So I think this weekend coming into early next week is going to be a great time if you are following a lot of people in these communities to learn about Lightning and Nostr and how cool they are and why, and see easy, like normal people who have no technical background get introduced to this and walk through how to do this. So we're going to get Gingerbread Farms down here, hopefully set up tomorrow night. Sounds like Brian and Tim. Tim just got on there as well. You can find all this stuff over in his chat. We've all been sharing our keys so we can all follow each other. And then it sounds like Lightning for Liberty is going to be a big one. Brian's going to be reducing. He's going to be putting out a bunch of really cool videos that he's producing right now. And then Wednesday, very well, maybe some more onboarding stuff on the after party. So totally worth checking out here. Let's see what Kyle here says. I'll just wait till it all falls to shit and we can trade scalps again. Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's really hard to trade scalps with somebody that's not like your next door neighbor, and maybe your neighbor doesn't want scalps. when, you know, the post office is down and shit like that. So, I mean, unless we're looking at a world where electronics are all dead, the internet no longer exists, which good luck with pretty much anything at that point. Given the state of the world now, I can't. This shit is better than the US dollar, honestly. I could send you a fraction of a penny and it doesn't cost me anything and it's instant. So everybody wants scalps, he says. Okay, not everybody is fucked up like you and me, Kyle. Let's be honest here. Scramblin says he's 3/4 of the way into Nostr. Yeah, I know. We were talking a little bit the other day trying to get things set up, and there's a lot gets lost in translation when you can't show screenshots and stuff like that. So we're going to have some stuff coming out with live videos and things. Brian's working hard on that. Well, they're moving locations this weekend. I know that. So should be fun once he gets settled in. He's going to do a little bit more video stuff when it comes down to that. And let's see here. Yes, I know. I'm sure you're into scalps too, Gingerbread Farm. We all know your background. So we got 10 minutes in here. I know it shouldn't be too long until Johnny joins us. And either way, we've got plenty going on. Does anybody have any questions regarding anything meat related in the meantime, or for Johnny when he gets here? If you guys missed his episode last, Johnny, one of the things that really caught my attention is he's doing kind of the impossible, or what everybody says is impossible, taking Cornish cross, keeping them alive long enough to breed, and crossing them with some larger heritage breed chickens, which results in a meat bird that's a little bit slower to finish, but still finishes out very, very well. Especially, I mean, in comparison to most of the other things out there, like Red Rangers and stuff, his birds look solid. You're still getting 5-6 pound carcasses out of these birds. They just go a little bit longer, and they don't all fall over dead, and you lose half of them on the way. So pretty cool stuff. Looking forward to seeing his updates. Sounds like they got a hold of a little extra land next door, and they forayed into some pigs and maybe some goats and stuff too. So that's been an adventure for them. But sustainable poultry, stuff that you can breed at home, that you're not reliant on a hatchery, that's like the freaking golden ticket for anybody who's trying to be self-sufficient with meat. So really, really looking forward to seeing where we're at a year later after that. And I see Johnny getting ready to pop in down there, it looks like. All right, cool. We're going to bring him on. So if you guys got some questions for him, we'll come back to those. But hey, man, Johnny, how you doing?
How you doing, Josh?
Good to see you. Great, bud. Awesome. Good to see you again. You've had a busy weekend, huh?
Oh yeah, I had to doing the homestead thing. Man, I had to go pick up some 5-foot fence. Traded another homesteader that I work with for some 6-foot fence that I really didn't want to struggle with.
Oh yeah, can't beat that. Well, shit, dude. And hey, sorry about the mix-up on timing. It was all kind of last minute getting you out here and getting things on. But yeah, I see you out there working hard.
Yeah, I got this. Oh yeah, we're hatching out right now too. The only thing I'm not hatching on is the game fowl. I'm downsizing on the game fowl right now.
Yeah,
and going big on layers because of the demand for egg producing chickens right now.
Well, the game fowl's mostly just been kind of fun for you for a while, but yeah, everybody's thinking more sustainable now.
Well, I've got a soft spot for game fowl because they're the closest. If I could be, an ecologist for a minute, they're the closest thing we have to a wild chicken, and I just feel like they've given us a lot as a species, and domestication has had the effect of softening the birds, just like it does with any animal. Where we used to have bison, now we just have cows. And these chickens used to run wild, and we took them out of the wild, and now they're probably not capable of surviving in the wild except for game fowl. So I've been doing a thing lately. Instead of selling them, to fighting rings and stuff like that, that's illegal. So we don't do that. No. But I love having them. I love the birds, and I would like for them to survive if civilization collapses. So I've been taking, not just unwanted roosters or whatever, but taking the best of my roosters along with, 2 or 3 hens and depositing them on public lands where they can sink or swim. And Darwin comes back into play. I would take all the birds that have the most fight in them, that are probably the best equipped for surviving in nature, and I've been putting them back into nature as little seed pods.
So you're sort of guerrilla gardening with chickens.
Yes, a little bit. It might be illegal, but it's not as illegal as fighting them.
You'd like this guy too, Kyle. Yeah, no, Kyle says he likes this guy. Yeah, this guy is pretty cool. He's joined my community lately, and he's been on the show a few times. He's another butcher up in New Hampshire, so he's really kind of on board with all this too. Well, it's funny you say that, though. I'm sitting here parked in where I do my podcast a lot of times because I can get free Wi-Fi. I'm in the Sam Houston Memorial Museum Park, and they've got a huge duck pond and set of woods and stuff around it right in the middle of town here in Huntsville. And they've got a ton of wild ducks, Muscovies, whistlers, pecans, but they got a bunch of chickens, and most of them are game fowl or game fowl mixes that you can see are out running around with chicks, are being sustainable. They're taking care of themselves. They just run around and they perch on dumpsters and trees out here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people
feed them and take pictures and stuff. So it's so cool to see those older school breeds. They're not the most efficient for meat at all, but you know, it's like you said, it's nice to be able to see these things are still an animal and they can still survive in the wild, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you look at a patch of, wilderness, and if you look at it through a chicken's eyes, you have to kind of just realize, like, they don't need us for much.
Right.
They really don't. I mean, the only needs that they have are needs that arise from their captivity.
Well, the older school breeds like that you're messing with, that's pretty much the closest we have to the Indian jungle fowl, which were basically a species of pheasant, in jungles over in Asia. So they're pretty well adapted to surviving in our climate and in our areas. I don't know how well they do in a harsh winter, but we don't have that down here in the South very much. It's pretty minimal.
Well, I picked
Southern Oklahoma still.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I picked places that have, little to no human habitation.
Right.
And a natural water source and lots of trees.
Nice.
I dropped a pair off in a wildlife refuge not too long ago, and they immediately found a nesting area in the hollow roots underneath the tree.
Well, it's funny if you get away from some of the really, really domesticated, almost pet chicken breeds. A lot of them, they will naturally do that. The more broody ones, they'll find spots. You'll have to fight them to use a damn nest box. So they're not that far away. And I imagine, from what I've heard, a lot of the breeds you're dealing with, they're a little feisty. They don't like you telling them what to do.
No, they don't.
But some of those, you ever raised any of those Phoenix breed chickens, the ones with the extra long tails?
Oh, I haven't got a hold of any of those yet. My wife is a fan. She wants to get some of those.
Yeah, they look like a lot of maintenance. And I just think of the mud around here during the spring. But, man, they are pretty. Yeah.
See, any like really specialized breed of anything is going to be a higher maintenance breed. And that's what we have to domestication. All these different kinds, all these different variety that all require human supervision.
Right.
The game fowl don't. They don't require human supervision, and I look forward to having a wild population here, that could be hunted in hard times. Like they already have that. There's a certain key. I forget which key island it is down in Florida, but they have a wild population of chickens down there. Then they are also game. I took a look at them, and they're game fowl.
You can tell they're definitely very, very similar to the game fowl that you see people have. But so as far as are you still doing your project where you're breeding the Cornish cross?
Yes, we're hatching.
It's been about a year since we talked. Are you still like doing first generations and refreshing those Cornish cross, or are you a few generations into these?
I've got the third generation on the incubator now.
Oh man. So your second gens were actually, bred from your first crosses, right? Did you notice a drop in them at all in their production, or did they kind of keep that hybrid vigor? That was my question.
They have.
Once they get to that point, do they lose that over generations or not?
Well, the main thing, the main objective in that entire operation was we wanted to have a sustainable meat bird that could live in a homestead environment, for the foreseeable future, to be harvested at your leisure. Because, the first time we did the Cornish cross, we realized, hey, we have to harvest these guys in 8 weeks or else they die.
And
So
half
like,
of them might die on the way to 8 weeks because they grow so fast they'll have heart attacks
yeah.
and broken legs and shit. Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of pressure to be under, especially if you work full time and you're homesteading.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and okay, this weekend it has to get done. You know, it has to get done, and you're under all this tremendous pressure to like. It's like that South Park episode where they talk about hunting deer, and they say, well, you see, so we have to kill them or else they'll die. It's the same situation with the Cornish cross. Like you have to kill them or else they'll die, and we didn't want that to be the case, so we kept back some Ross 308 type Cornish cross hens. Mm-hmm. And we found out why you can't really breed them. Like you can't use the rooster. The rooster's too heavy for the hens because they get up like 20-something pounds full grown. Full maturity, they're huge. You know, you're harvesting a 6-pound carcass at 8 weeks, but they're like 20 pounds at 16 weeks.
Yeah, 20-pound chicken will kill a hen easily.
Yeah, the only reason why they don't let them grow that large, industrially, is because of the feed conversion. You max out your feed conversion at 5 weeks, and so like 8 weeks is your top weight, your marketable weight. But they're trying to get them processed as quickly as possible for the reason of profit, of course.
Yep.
But we're not, we're not a farm, so we're not doing this for profit. We're just a family who's worried about supply and demand. We want the supply to be there when we demand it, so we keep our own supply, and that's what we've developed this Shellsbury, meat bird cross, for the purpose of. And we took a rooster that was half Brahma and half Barred Rock, and put him over the hens, and he's still quite a large fella, but he's not as large as a full Cornish cross, Ross 308 rooster was.
Body, but it just takes them a lot longer to get there.
Right. Well, by breeding with the Ross 308, we still have a pretty fast turnaround. It's not industrially fast, but you also don't have the mortality issue, and they can just live. I have 2-year-old ones.
They probably don't have the feed bill quite as much either. They don't have to eat that much, Yeah. Well,
you don't have to feed them.
Cornish cross will eat everything you put in front of them. They're like the industrialized hogs of the chicken world,
And the trick to doing it, if anybody wants to do it for themselves, I got a lawnmower going by. I don't think he has a license. I don't think my neighbor has a license. He takes his lawnmower everywhere.
Welcome to Oklahoma.
Good old Oklahoma. But the way to get a Ross 308 hen to full maturity is you have to steward them during their adolescence. That's when you have to keep them on 12 on and 12 off, 12 hours on the feeder, 12 hours off the feeder, so that they don't eat themselves to death. But once they're at full maturity and they don't have that growth rate, you don't have to worry about it. You can run them with your regular chickens if you so desire.
But during that growth period, they're my 600-pound life type bird. They're just going to eat whatever you put in front of them and not stop till they die. It's like a weird genetic thing. Like they've bred them to have that hunger switch just completely turn off during the growth period, and which is great when you're trying to shove as much food down their throat to make them big as possible. Not so great when you have birds falling over dead, or they reach a certain point, and if you don't kill them in time.
Yeah, and I think we've got our first little 4 chicks have graduated from the brooder to they're feathered enough that we've got them in the meat bird area now, whether they're meat bird chicks or not. I think one of them is and 3 of them aren't. But I've got the meat rooster separated into a game fowl pen right now because he was just kind of tearing up the hens a little bit, and I didn't want him in there with the babies. I didn't want him to kill babies. I wasn't sure if he would or not, so I didn't chance it.
Yeah,
but we gathered up all the eggs up until then, and we have them all on the incubator, something like 30 eggs on the incubator. So we are scaling up. So
you're coming into that 4th generation, or you're hatching the 3rd?
We're hatching the 3rd.
Nice. So
the first generation was full Cornish cross. The 2nd generation was half Cornish cross.
Okay.
And one of our actual original Cornish cross hens lived quite a while, and she just passed away a couple months ago, or maybe a month and a half ago. Yeah. And we were able to get some eggs from her that went into this incubator that will be 3/4 Cornish cross and 1/4 of that Brahma Barred Rock mixed rooster. So
I'll
we'll
be
see how.
interesting to see if how they do in comparison to that initial first cross, and if it was a lot of the hybrid vigor that kind of got them to that size, or if it declines or not. It's just interesting to kind of study that for me. Look at that thing. Dang. How old is that?
He's a little fatty. He's about 4 weeks.
4 weeks old. Dang, that's half a chicken right there.
I mean, there's enough for a chicken taco.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's about as big as, or at least probably weight-wise, as big as any of those old-fashioned breeds. You know, any of your gamecocks.
Is there a way to turn this camera around?
Let's see. Depends on what kind of phone are you on. There should be a button that lets you.
I don't see the button.
So
that's why I'm having to do this. I'm having to pull away so you can see them.
We can see them pretty good though. That's
when I pull into the sunlight, I can't see the phone though.
Yeah, anybody that's
you get a good look at them.
We can see them pretty good. Anybody who's not watching the video stream, if they're here in the replay, you should definitely come back and rewatch this because that's pretty cool. Or go follow him on TikTok and see some of his birds. But he's holding a 4-week-old meat cross that is dang near as big as his head. So it's
he won't die.
He probably weighs what, 4 pounds or so.
Oh, right now he's probably about, he's pushing a pound.
5 weight. Yeah, it's a pretty hefty bird.
Yeah, he's a little fat butt.
Very, very broad-breasted compared to what we typically see from something that age. Oh yeah, look at those. Yeah, that's some. Yeah, it looks like a meat chicken.
These are the second-gen hens. Yeah, you can't really tell them apart other than a little bit. They got a couple dark feathers here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But these girls, they do like to go broody. This one's been trying for about a week.
Right.
To go broody.
So how do those second gens lay?
They actually lay pretty well, and
really?
a nice large egg. It's not quite as high of a rate of laying as the layer chickens themselves, but they lay a much larger one.
You get 3 or 4 eggs a week, probably.
I get 3 or 4 eggs. Let me see. I get like 2 or 3 a day out of these 3 hens.
Hens are you running?
3 hens.
That's pretty dang good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good rate. I mean, sometimes it'll just be 1, sometimes it'll be 3 or 4. Depends if I skip a day, But
right. That's pretty good.
But they do lay at a pretty good rate, and those are the ones that I like to eat because I don't have to crack a whole bunch of eggs. I can just crack a couple.
Oh yeah, you got those extra large. Hey, David here says he doesn't have TikTok. Is there any other platforms that you're on he can follow you on?
No, pretty much just TikTok.
Okay.
So I'm kind of hoping TikTok doesn't get banned because I've had the most success on TikTok out of any other platform.
I have too. I keep using it. I just kind of have some stuff going elsewhere if need be too. I should try to get you on Telegram. It's just more the chat side of things, but we've got like 80 so people over there in that Telegram community right now, and we're always talking meat related and homesteading stuff all day, every day. So hopefully, if you get a chance to add that on your phone, we'll get you over there too.
Well, I might have to make the switch over there if the politicians decide that.
Well, I don't even know if I'd say so much of it as it's a switch. It's not like a replacement for TikTok. It's not the same format, but it is a really cool app for communication in like a chat group, and you can share video and stuff like that over there. But that's how I keep up with all my people in the podcast. All the updates and stuff that's coming up. Pretty much all half dozen people that are watching right now, I'll hang out.
What I've enjoyed about TikTok is there is a pretty large homestead farm talk community on there.
There is,
and
there really is.
If you have a good idea, there's no algorithm to hold you down before you pay Mark Zuckerberg the $5.
Right.
And like we have Rebel.
That's why they want it gone.
Pastured Poultry of Texoma. We have a page on Facebook called Pastured Poultry of Texoma. Thing has been just about dead as soon as we popped it on like 2 years ago. Like it gets almost no traction at all, but they're always offering us that we can pay them the $5.
Oh, of course.
Like why would I do that if I have TikTok? Like I had 50 followers on my TikTok when I posted a video that I called Lawn Farm, and I said you don't have to have a farm to farm. Here's how to make a chicken tractor, a small chicken tractor that you can pull around your yard like a lawnmower.
Yep.
And it just kind of introduced them to the idea of pastured poultry. And I got 60,000 views on that thing in like a day and a half with 50 followers. Now I have close to 5,000 followers.
Dang,
but like
you're rocking it.
A small account got that many views just because people felt like this is a good idea. It's worth sharing, something I might want to do. And you can still organically go viral on TikTok, and the establishment hates it. They hate that. So like that's the only reason. Oh, it's Durka China, Durka blah blah blah. It has nothing to do with that. Oh, your data. Yeah, Zuckerberg, he's farming your data. Twitter's farming your data. Instagram's farming your data. And you know what? And if TikTok really cares so much to know how much time I spend on the shitter, you know, they're welcome to know. I don't know what the Chinese military is going to do with that information, and I really don't care.
Hey, here's the thing: if the Chinese Communist Party really wants your data and your online browsing habits, they can buy it on the open market from Google and Facebook.
Yes.
And nobody in the government
can just buy it from Zuckerberg.
Right. It's cheaper for them to buy that than to make a secret app to have girls dance and try to spy on you with it.
Yeah.
Everybody has the impression that it's
I just feel if it was
a bunch of bullshit, but it is what you make of it. When you follow people who are actually doing things, when you're presenting things that you're actually doing, the people who have those like interests find each other. And I've seen a lot of growth over there too. I've had multiple people.
Anybody with a screen name that has farm, acres, or homestead in it, I follow back. Those three keywords: such and such farm, such and such acres, such and such homestead. Boom, I follow right back because I want to see useful content.
Exactly. The Chinese already have your data. And I guarantee you 90% of the devices that you're doing anything on are built in China. So, I mean, what's to say there's not a way for them to just not even care what happens? We don't know, but here's the deal. It's the world that we live in. We can be scared of it and go strip naked, throw our electronics in the bush and live like wild people if we want to. But that's the only way you're going to get away from the technological spying shit. So
I'm not going to say I haven't thought about it.
It's like, I'm not scared of whoever seeing whatever. If you want to find me, come find me. You know,
man, if I could dig a well and close my gate, I would.
Right?
If I could just dig a well and close my gate, I would do it.
Right? Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see here. So, what you guys got a hold of a little bit of extra land since you were on the show last, from what I understand.
Yes, we did.
A whole bunch more, and you got into some other species. So, tell us about that.
Sure did. Well, last time we did this show, I had a nicer house, but it wasn't mine. Now I have this crappy old white clapboard that needs the whole floor replaced, and I had to replumb this whole thing before we moved in here. But to be honest, it came with 10 acres of woods, and I would have moved in with a tent if I had to.
Dude, that's worth it. That's worth it. The fact that you could find 10 acres right now that's affordable and it has a structure on it is you're doing well.
Yeah, that's all I said. I said, babe, it's got a structure. There's a roof there. It's a good roof. Bad floor, good roof. Let's do it.
Floors can be replaced. 10 acres of woods, that's not the easiest thing to come by, and it's going to get harder and harder to get a hold of.
And we got it under 100K.
Oh man, even better. Really good. Nice. Are you guys still kind of in the same region, or did you move far? Or?
We moved about 20 minutes north of where we were, but we're still right at the top of right at the north end of Lake Texoma.
Okay, so you're in the same area.
You know where Tishomingo, Oklahoma is like the nearest notable town. That's where Blake Shelton has his little country bar.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
I haven't made it up that way, but yeah.
We've got Kiko goats. These guys are going to help me clear this land.
Absolutely.
I built them this hay feeder out of IBC tote. You see that?
Nice.
See, we're making shelters out of the IBC totes, hay feeders out of the IBC totes. Got their water hanging on it. We got Kuni pigs now too, and these are the waters for just made a barrel waterer with a couple of nipples on it, and that way they always have water even when they spill everybody else's to water.
So are you how are you running the pigs? Are you doing like electronet? You just letting them run the property? How you?
Well, I've got max tight 2x4 spaced woven wire, 5-foot fence. I use a 5-foot fence roll for most of the property, and then I also my stopgap for areas that I don't have fenced in yet, and that's what I'm working on today. When I get off of here, I'm going to be stretching more of that 5-foot fence so that I can move this Premier One electric net a little further back. I want to be. This is what helps me to encompass. There's my IntelliShock 60 charger.
Nice.
But this helps me to encompass a wider area than what I currently have actual fence for. I just keep swinging this a little further back.
Fence is a constant battle. Even once you get the place fully fenced in, you'll always be working on it. I mean, ask Kyle. He's been doing the same thing. We were just talking about that the other day. He was saying he was dropping $2,000 on fencing and how much fencing it would get him done. And I say, well, yeah, that's 3/4 of an acre right there.
All this stuff out here, I got all kinds of greenery out here. All these goats in here, they need to eat this for me.
Yep.
They're going to get in there. They're going to eat all that. And I see all the green is on the other side of the fence. There's no green left on this side of the fence. So I need to string up more steel fence so that I can move the electric fence further back and encompass more green.
And what the goats
they
don't
can trim everything down. Yeah, absolutely. Then I need to get the chickens off my front yard. I'm trying to get the chickens and everybody moved back away from the road because we stretch 10 acres back. So I'm just trying to make use of the next couple acres.
Absolutely.
And then the next couple acres. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be an ongoing battle for the next 10 years or so.
Oh, and when you get it done in the next 10 years, you'll have another project or there'll be fence to repair. We were talking in my group a while back. Somebody was saying that's my next project that I told the wife after I finished the fence. And I was like, so you're never going to do it? Because fence is never finished. If you have anything over a half an acre, fence is never a one and done. It's a constant thing.
This is my current clearing position. You can see where the jungle is. I call that Jumanji. That's the Jumanji acres back there. It was like that all the way up to the house, and I've been able to clear another acre or so.
Yes, nice.
Kind of wide.
Little at a time, man. Little at a time. It's amazing what you can do with just a couple of acres, and then you got plenty of room to expand. And I always like
that's the idea.
Wildland out there too. Some space that's just kind of left to nature to let it do its thing.
Yeah, because we've got cedars on the back 5. On the back 5 has more cedars than Bodark. The front is all Bodark jungle. So we're going to we're clearing the Bodark jungle up front to expand the farm and planning on leaving some of the cedars back there, the cedar acreage, because the deer like it. So we'll have a hunting area right behind the farming area, and we got higher ground out back too. They were thinking about putting a secondary home back there and then using this one for a rental. Nice. I feel like we could probably pay this house off within the next 4 years.
Have you thought about instead of the rental, you thought about doing the Airbnb type thing? A lot of folks are going that way because it's usually weekend rental type stuff. It seems to turn a pretty good profit. And
we probably won't.
You don't have the issues of the eviction type thing because they're not technically a tenant. They're not a renter. So if you got to get rid of them, they can just go.
No, I was going to rent this place to my current farmhand, who is my my current farmhand is my 18-year-old cousin-in-law.
Nice.
So I noticed today because they're out of town for Easter, and I'm watching the farm, and I noticed how much longer it took me this morning by myself. So he's definitely earning his keep.
Well, good.
So I'll put a bigger house back there. I want to do like a big pole barn that I could build a house with it, inside of.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah,
and then still have plenty of garage space,
Yeah, or do like a barn-dominium style. That's really popular.
Yeah. The idea is pay this one off and then take a note out to build the back one and rent this one out to the cousin so that rent can go toward that new note. That way we will basically be mortgage free even as we expand our holdings.
You're going to try to go solar and stuff, or you're going to just do on grid right off the bat and then?
Well, solar is kind of expensive. It's an expensive. We can't afford that now, but eventually, yeah. And we want to put up a well.
But if you can roll it into the construction costs, a lot of times it's not that much more on your note. It just depends on who you're working with, I guess.
Well, the idea right now is we want to do water off grid. The first thing we're going to get off grid is going to be the water because that's easier because we can drive a well here. We have a shallow enough water table that we can drive a sandpoint well maybe 30 feet down and we'll have water.
That'll be nice. Even if it's just for livestock use, that's huge right there.
Yeah, any elimination of a bill is a step forward, and also, yeah, like you said, an unlimited supply of water means
Yep.
you can have unlimited water for an unlimited amount of livestock, and that's
Yes.
if you eliminate that bill,
Garden.
then you can expand that usage.
And if you have a summer like last summer, if you do any kind of gardening, you want to have your own water if you can, because
Yes.
man, if you weren't irrigating last year, you were toast.
Yeah, and if we were to go on any kind of rationing on city water, or I think we're on county water out here, but if we were to go to any kind of rationing situation, like we would have to make choices.
Yep.
So
Yep. Do you guys have any running water on the properties, or a creek or anything like that, or like a wet weather
I
creek?
wish, man, I
I know,
wish.
right?
We've got a dry pond that I'm working on fixing.
Good. So is it just leaking, or you need to build a new dam, or?
I think it's perking. Yeah, it's not holding water, but there's no water coming into it either.
Right.
The terrain has changed. Trees have fallen in certain locations, and dirt has built up. The runoff.
Well, you never know. You may be able to fill one, but if it's not holding water, I've never done this myself, but I've heard of a lot of people who have. And the old school way to seal a pond was to pen it off and run pigs in there. Because the pigs, when they really tear it up, you hold pigs in an area long enough, it will hold water no matter what. They build wallows and they hold. It's because they disturb and mix up the soil, and it mixes with their feces in a way too. But basically, it's like when you shake a jar and you get all the different sediment layers. It'll disturb it all, and just clay seals that whole area.
And they'll eat up all the roots, because a lot of times you have growth, have plant growth in your pond, and then
perking. Yep.
Yeah, it'll cause it to perk down the root. So if you get some pigs in there to root all that stuff out, then you no longer have those roots to perk down, and that's another way that they also seal a pond. And we're hatching some more ducks out right now too. Duck poop will also seal a pond.
Helps a lot too. Yeah,
once it has water in it.
Yep.
It's got to have water in it to hold the ducks, but once it's got ducks in it, it'll hold the water. So it's a paradox, but that's also part of my fencing strategy is to get the pond fenced in to where I can use it as a pig waller for a while, and then as soon as it starts to hold any water at all, boom, the ducks go in, and then we'll no longer be using plastic totes full of water for the ducks.
Yeah. If it was me myself personally, I would fence that off, and I would get maybe a half a dozen like meat cross big pigs. Keep running your kunes like you do. Keep those in that wallow, raise them out, let that get nice and piggy. Process those boogers, sell the ones that I can, fill my freezer, have a bunch of really good high quality pork, and then run your ducks. And I bet you within a year or two, you would have a solid sealed pond.
That's the idea, but I also need to fix the runoff, because the runoff from the rain runs right in front of the pond berm. It's just missing the pond by like 10 feet. The last time we had a big rain, and I went back there and I saw where I did a TikTok about it actually. I saw where all the leaves were disturbed, where a large amount of water had come across the property from the south end of the property, which is higher than all the neighbors' property, drains across my property to the other half of his property. I'm surrounded by this cattle
guy in there. You need to have a whole like laser survey like they'll do, and you can actually see the slope. Actually get you some drainage into that pond. Yeah,
there's too many trees out here to use any kind of lasers, because there's no line of sight.
You guys have a tractor or anything, or are you doing most of it by hand?
I'm the tractor.
You are the tractor, right?
I just picked up an auger from one of the hand augers from Harbor Freight.
Yep.
And I just call it a tractor attachment. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Yeah, I'm the tractor. This is a new tractor attachment for me."
Yep, I get it, man. I'm pretty much the same way with it, but yeah, now it makes me think, how can I use the pigs to dig that trench? Because they will. But that requires you to fence them.
That's the thing, and there's no way to do it without. There's got to be some shovel work involved.
Well, it depends on what's in the way. If you've got a lot of roots that need to get tore out of there, though, pigs are the answer for that. Especially if you run them in there and throw a little corn down or something, they'll tear some stumps out. So if that's the issue, that's something to think about. But because there's only so much you can do by hand when you're dealing with a lot of overgrowth.
Well, there's a low side to the pond where the water should, or it probably used to come in on, and I feel like the soil has just built up a little too high right there to allow it to come in anymore. But it drains 10 feet in front of it in what is now the new low spot, and if I just get in there and grade it down, it'll fill again. It'll have the feed from the runoff. And
nothing else.
To get a tractor in there, I had to clear out a bunch more trees though. And I do intend. It's just me and a chainsaw / tractor attachment.
Yep. Well,
yeah.
hey,
go gadget chainsaw arm.
Exactly. Hard to go wrong there. I mean, it's hard work, but man, it's worth it. Sounds like you got a lot going on there. You got plans. You're no lack of work to get done.
I've got plenty to do for the foreseeable future. I will grow old here on this farm doing all this work and then pass it to my children. That's the plan. Oh, and this will keep the property taxes down. Have you heard about a homestead exemption?
Absolutely.
I didn't know about these. Well, I'm excited to find out about them.
It's big in Texas. I didn't know if it was in Oklahoma or not, but yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, all they do is they protect you from having your land seized over like any kind of court stuff, like and then they also cap your value. They cap your land value, so that way, like if a bunch of trendy hipsters moved in next door and put in an Airbnb, and then some more stoners moved in on the other side and put in a high-end dispensary, and then somebody put in a coffee shop, and then a McDonald's came, then my land value, I wouldn't be able to afford the property taxes on it anymore because we're just homesteading, we're
but
just
if you're ag exempt, it caps you, and you pretty much get the minimal amount to pay.
Like, I would hate for this neighborhood to get to get like gentrified at all. Like, my neighborhood is mostly trees and cows, and I just hope it stays that way.
Oh yeah.
But
hopefully.
at some point, putting a house in the middle of the trees to get away from the city is going to be, is going to come with a premium, and the land value might still go up.
Having 10 acres is still a lot more elbow room and a lot more. Yeah, it makes you feel more comfortable going into the future. If you do kind of get crowded in, there's only so close they can get.
Right. And so the thing is, as far as the property taxes year by year, like say if you have a $300,000 property, they cap you at like, $175,000 here.
Right.
Like they'll cap your property value, so that way, the county assessor can't rape you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keeps your property value low. Because your property value stays low, then your tax assessment stays low for your property taxes. Because say if you're paying $5,000 a year, say, and then you go and get your property value capped with a homestead exemption, then it's going to drop to like $3,000 a year. So anything that's going to save me a couple grand is going to help me keep feed in the trough.
Absolutely. So have you guys processed any of the pigs yet, or have you just started raising them? Are you guys breeding, or is that
we just got them? They were kind of adolescent pigs. We got them maybe I want to say 2 months ago. And they're not full kune though either. They're kune American guinea hog crosses. So they should
some guinea hogs.
Delicious.
Guinea hogs are awesome. They taste great. Kyle's down here talking. He just got into an Osaba boar, and he says he's preaching them. They're cool, super sustainable, hard to get a hold of.
I haven't even heard of them.
There's like an island out. I think it's off a coast. It's out in like Georgia, where there was like a wild population of pigs that's just been left undisturbed for like a long ass time. And they've evolved some interesting little traits. Like they're very, very feed efficient because they have had to live in like starvation situations for a long time. So they put on weight when they can get food. And they look like a wild pig. They really do. But they've been studied a lot by a lot of like Iowa State University and stuff like that, really getting into the genetics and crossbreeding them and stuff. So they're very interesting. Very interesting.
So they kind of have the same things going for them, like say all these cattle.
Yes.
Out in New Mexico, they had a bunch of cattle that were just like running wild on public lands. Yeah, feral cows.
It's like what you're trying to do with the chickens,
The government decided to go in there and kill all the feral cows. And it's like, you realize how much you could have sold these for to everybody that's doing grass-fed, and they want that hardy cow that can survive on just grass.
We want something that's got sustainable diversity and genetic tolerance.
Yeah, like there is a market for these cows, and you're just going to shoot them and let them lay there. And now we're just going to have 1 million coyotes.
They've been naturally selected for generations to survive perfectly in that climate. They're probably not the most feed efficient if you want to put them in a pen and raise them, but man, that's valuable genetics. And for people who want self-sustaining,
Yeah,
that's
everybody
amazing.
that was doing
We're wanting to
grass-fed
cross
cows
them
got
in.
really pissed off about that. They were like, "Whoa, we're like trying to develop the exact thing that you're putting to death over there. Like
Yep.
we're trying to achieve that on a farm in a farm situation, and what's
Yep.
already been achieved by Darwin in nature over there, and you're just gonna go and shoot them off from a helicopter."
And they won't do that shit when it comes to all the
Yeah.
freaking feral Mustangs that are causing all kinds of problems. They round them up and try to sell them, and people buy them because horse girls love the damn things and want to try to adopt a wild horse. We can't do it with the cows when we're actually trying to find sustainable feed. However, though, think about it. Where's all the money come for these programs? Big Ag pays for the government. So
Yep.
whose opinion matters? Not the small sustainable people. We've got to figure it out on our own. So guess what,
Well,
folks?
yeah,
The government is
we can't
not here to
afford
help you or save you.
We can't afford to buy off the government like they can because we can't
Right.
get profitable because the policies that the government puts in place for them are designed to keep us from becoming profitable. So yeah, so I'm just a humble subsistence homesteader. You know, like I don't have to. At least I don't have to worry about the price of eggs.
Damn right, and that's a pretty big savings right now. Holy shit! Crazy world we live in, though, man. So, what other updates you got going on? Anything crazy and new, or you still working the job and doing the whole homesteading thing on the side, or did you go full time?
Oh no, we'd have to be profitable to go full time, and we won't be
Yep.
profitable till we get some of this land opened up out back. That's the
I get
idea.
that.
But the goats for clearing, that's I got the Kiko goats, and hopefully I can at least turn a buck on them as meat goats.
Yeah.
Here in Chickasha, Oklahoma, there is a large goat processor, and I'm
Nice.
told that for between 40 to 60 for a 40 to 60 pound meat goat, they will pay about like 140 150 bucks. But that video is from like a year ago, so I'm not sure what the market is for them right now. But I just need them to convert poison ivy into meat.
Absolutely.
I need,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? I need them to just
Well, I mean,
clear
if you
all
reach
the
out to,
scrub.
if you can find some people that are looking for that in your area, you can always use a custom exempt processor and they just buy it directly from you and pay for the processing. That's a great way to go too. And it's cheaper for them. There's a pretty good market there if you find the people.
Immigration is also driving the demand for goat meat because
Yes.
a lot of people from foreign cultures that are coming here, like a lot of like Middle Eastern people and Latin American people, they all love to eat goat. I know a handful of cowboys up here that like it too.
It's actually the most produced protein in the world. Everywhere but here.
There is a sustainable market for it. I won't have trouble selling goats once I have what I feel are too many for the land to support. I can absolutely sell that surplus. I know that I can sell that surplus and maybe even cook one up and see if I like the taste. And if we do, we're going to put some in the freezer.
It's not a rank old billy goat. Goat is honestly very similar to venison.
Really?
Process them very much like a deer. Very similar. So if you like deer, you'll probably like goat.
I like deer.
Like deer. I'll tell you what though, if depending on how much you feel like getting into it yourself or whatnot, it was 2 episodes ago. She's not too far north of you actually. I've got one of my friends was on the show. She runs one of the only licensed mobile processors in Oklahoma.
Really?
She rolls out with her trailer, full on gooseneck trailer and everything, and slaughters and does the processing there on site. And she's doing all kinds of shit too. Classes for kids. She did a big FFA demonstration the other day. Yeah, it's got a real cool setup. It's a Backyard Butchery is what she goes by, but it's Tiffany Baxter. She's too far north of you. I want to say she's between you and Tulsa or something, roughly.
Somewhere maybe like McAllister.
I'm trying to remember the exact. I'll think of it in a minute of the exact town, but it's not far. She's in southern central Oklahoma, so she's not too far away. I keep meaning to go up and work with her a weekend or something one time and just check her setup out, but it's still about a 5-6 hour drive for me to get up there. But she's not far from you, and she goes all over Oklahoma.
Yeah, it might be worth checking out if she's got any kind of social media. Is she on the TikTok? She is on
TikTok. Backyard Butchery on TikTok. Yeah.
All right, I'll check her out.
Same size following as you do. I'm still lagging behind, catching up with y'all. But yeah, she's got a pretty good following on TikTok, and she's on Facebook and all the other places and stuff too. But yeah,
Well, how is your trailer coming along? Last time we spoke, you were working on
well, that was the
converting
hope
a
and the
trailer into
plan,
a
but
butcher shop.
it hasn't happened. Man, I'll tell you what, the idea is to put it into like a box truck, and that market got wrecked the last couple of years. I mean, everybody started buying shit because they're all moving out of cities. After all the BLM crap and everything went on, everybody bought up all the old U-Hauls and trailers and shit like that. So it's just now we're starting to see them come back down. So it's always one of those, when I see them in a good price, the budget isn't there. And when the price is down, or when the price is up, I've got the budget. So it's a bounce back and forth. So I've been playing with all the wild game over the fall.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I've been doing a lot more of this type stuff, podcasting type stuff. I've got people wanting me to come to events and teach. Doing on-site education directly instead of the processing for folks. I've been focusing more on hands-on training, and I'm selling spices now. I've had so many people asking. I've launched Renegade Butcher as a seasoning line, so I'm doing that.
Nice.
That's been the next big push. So I've got about 1 million irons in the fire. But yeah, it's still hopefully the long-term goal. I don't have a timeline on it yet. I wish I did. But unfortunately, right now, I'm looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of probably about $250,000 upfront investment to get it going, to be able to do it state licensed. That's the thing. Weirdly enough, Texas is the hardest state in the United States to get set up as a mobile processor and do it legal, because we're the only state out of all 50 that require you to do all skinning in an enclosed area indoors for insects. So you've literally either got to set up some sort of a tent, a washable sanitary tent outside the back of it, or have pull it up inside the body of the trailer. And man, the doing that on the road.
That's wild. What do they have against sunshine? Sunshine is a disinfectant.
Well, you see, the flies in Texas are worse than anywhere else, apparently. Flies don't actually cause a problem anywhere else. We have to have it's one of those. Texas is a fairly free state in a lot of ways, but most of the government is run by big ag. So there's a lot of incentive to not get small competition coming in here. And, there's a lot of demand for it. It just, they made it really, really hard. So I've had to have my little handshake moment with the state and them explaining not necessarily what the law says, but how they're going to enforce it.
Right.
Directly what they said to me. So it's one of those. I've only got so much money. I can't necessarily go to war with the state of Texas Health Department. That'd be a pretty poor career decision. So it's one of those balancing acts.
We need someone we need someone like Joel Salatin to become president somehow.
I don't think he would take the job if we gave it to him.
He's the only guy that I can see that they actually turn it around.
Right. I know. You know what? My thought on the whole damn thing is we can't rely on any of these politicians to fix it for us. So the best that we can do is we've got to sit back, build what we can into our own lives, grow these skills, develop it, and network amongst ourselves. Because you know what? They still can't stop me from coming to you and teaching you how to process your animals. There's no laws in the state of Texas that you can't process your animals, and I can't be a teacher.
Right. Like if it's my animal, it's here. Like if say I got this goat sitting right over here, I'm not gonna process Billy the Kid. I'm kind of partial to him. I ain't gonna lie. I like him. He's gonna be my breed stallion. You know what I mean? But I will eat his children.
I don't blame you.
And so I don't see where the government would even have a leg to stand on to step in and say, "Oh, you're gonna have a barbecue on your homestead." No, he can't help you cut up that animal that you're gonna eat today.
That's still protected pretty well in most states, to call it a personal use exemption, that you're allowed to do pretty much whatever you want with your animal on your own property as long as you're not selling it. That's fine. The issue became when I was helping folks with that, they're like, yeah, you're doing it commercially for them. So no, it's all in how things are organized. So if you want to learn how to process your shit and you want to pay me as a consultant, as a teacher to come down and hands-on train you, you're still processing your own animal. I may rent you some equipment. I may bring the skill. I may teach you how to do it, which guess what? If your goal as a state health department really is to protect people, people are going to process their own shit, whether you like it or not. They have no choice right now in the world we live in. So somebody who has a background in it, teaching them how to do it right, is not really a health hazard. But anyways, that's where I'm at right now with that. But I'll tell you what, I stay pretty busy doing that. So I actually have to,
I find with the whole homesteading thing, that's all you can really do is stay entirely busy every damn day. And like there's not a lot of downtime. No matter what you're doing, there's not a lot of downtime. The only thing that would be nice is if there was more money to go around.
that's true.
And
That's
I
always
could get things done a little faster if there was just more money to go around.
Money's the ultimate accelerator, of course, but
Those are meat birds.
We do what we can. Oh, look at that. Little bitty meat chicks.
And all these little tiny ones just hatched out this morning.
Dang, nice.
And those guys are only like 3 days old, and they've already tripled in size.
Whew. Growing quick.
Yeah, those guys hatched like 3 or 4 days ago, and those little tiny ones just hatched this morning. Matter of fact, I think I got one more in here. But he was still kind of moist this morning, so I didn't pull him out. Yeah, I'm gonna set you up right here. I'm gonna pull this guy out. He was moist. So we left him in the incubator to dry out a little bit, because I don't like to put them in the brooder when they're still kind of wet, so that way they don't fall out.
Nice. I don't blame you. Oh shit.
And there's more in here hatching too. So hurry up and close it. 56% humidity is about right. It's a baby layer.
Look at that fresh little baby chick. Oh yeah.
This is the market. Everybody that's been paying too much for eggs lately, they're going to be into these guys. And we're actually going to go ahead and raise these up as replacements to our flock. Yep. And we're just going to go ahead and start selling the full-grown layers for about $25 or so. They've been going for as much as $40 at the poultry auctions around here.
I've seen people private sales selling laying hens for $60. So you may want to try to post on like Nextdoor, Craigslist, something like that first. Shoot for 50 or 60 and see. And if they don't sell, then take them to auction.
Yeah, I'll say 50 or best. I'll keep it. I'll never shoot for the top of the market, because I don't need to gouge. I do kind of just have a
people are willing to pay for it, and they're just trying to get their start, man. Don't hate money. Just don't undervalue.
No, it's not that I hate money. It's just that I see the future, I believe. And I don't want to have desperate neighbors.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Well,
I would like very much if I have this. It's almost become like ideological for me. The whole decentralization of agriculture, and that is what is going to get us through the hard times that are coming.
It is. Well, if we've
everybody's got
the past few years, we can't necessarily rely on the systems that we expect to be there to always.
Definitely can't rely on big ag, especially.
Uh-oh, we lost him there for a second. Must be a connection thing. I'm sure he'll pop back on here in a few minutes. Let me go back up here and see if we can hit. Man, you guys have been alive and well in the comments today. That is awesome. Let's see here. What did I miss? I was trying to throw a few up on the screen here. We'll be wrapping it up pretty soon, I'm sure. Let's see. Kyle passed the Touchy Rebel. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, main island in the Keys. That's right. That's where the Osabas were coming from, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. Or were you talking about? Oh, okay. That's right. That's the chickens. Okay.
I got kicked off.
Yeah. Here we go. You're good.
I guess I shouldn't have talked smack about BlackRock, and I wouldn't have got kicked off the interweb just now.
Tell you what, it's the oh no. Big Brother doesn't like it. No. I run into that all the time. I'm actually amazed that I've not dropped off here myself, but it's the whole Easter weekend thing. There's not a lot of people out here. All the college kids sucking up the Wi-Fi. So.
I gotcha.
Oh shit. Well, hey, yeah, we're running up on a little over an hour here. I'm going to try to go back. You want to hit some of these comments here. And, well, I think we lost him again. BlackRock got him. So let's see here what we got here. David was talking about he doesn't have TikTok, but let's see. Used to have Telegram. Definitely jump back in Telegram, man. You can follow that link down here and get right into the chat. There's some shit show stuff going on over there, but usually not in my chat. Here we go again.
There we go again, yeah.
BlackRock strikes again.
Yeah, everybody needs to grow something. Whether if you've got a green thumb, like there's all these old boys out here that are growing marijuana now that it's legal, and you know what? Grow some tomatoes too.
Do something.
saying.
Do something.
Just something.
Anything you're doing is better than nothing. Be some kind of a producer, because then you've got some sort of a value to share with your friends and neighbors.
You know,
You don't
and
expect
chickens
to be a part of a community or a network where people will barter and share if you're not actually contributing to it somehow yourself. You know,
and chickens are just an easy way for someone who is, starting from nothing. If you want to get into a protein item, that's just local to your home, chickens are the way to go, because you have an immediate garbage disposal right there.
There we go again. We're going to keep losing them, it looks like. But yeah, chickens are the gateway animal when it comes to farming, for sure. I'm pretty partial to ducks as far as a poultry on the meat side, but I have the chickens too. They've got great utility for a ton of different things. So very, very flexible breed. Here we go.
They're really trying to let us get our final thoughts off, are they?
Right? They just want to kill us before the end. No. But yeah, well, I mean, before you drop off again, like I said, you got any final thoughts to wrap up on, other than somebody should be out doing something and raising some shit?
I mean, if they're going to cut me off again, I'm just going to say, get you some chickens.
Exactly. Preferably from these guys, if you're anywhere near southern Oklahoma. So, hey, if somebody is interested in buying some chickens from you, where do they find you? How do they get in touch with you? What's the best way to
give me a holler on Rebel Poultry on TikTok, or Pastured Poultry of Texoma on Facebook.
Pastured Poultry of Texoma. Okay. I'll have to try to find that link and get it in the show notes too, just to be able to share that around for y'all. Awesome. And yeah, well, we'd love to have you back on the show at some point here. I'm trying to sneak some more episodes in, try to catch up, get up to my episode 50 here before too long. And but I'll tell you what, I know you're mainly doing the TikTok thing. If you ever feel like you've got some sort of like a little 5-minute blurb or something you want to throw together just for me to air on the show, I don't mind throwing a little bit of your content out on here for folks too. If you got updates you want to share, I'll take shit in from the audience. And he dropped again. So there we go. Well, as we wait for him to come back for his final last little message, I'm going to wind down a little bit here too. Remind you guys, check out renegadebutcher.com. Get on over there and you can follow all the stuff I've got going on and all that seasoning project. And get in the Telegram group and you can vote on all the fun stuff. And every morning over there, we've got updates and thoughts for the day. And you can hear all what's going on with my shit. And hopefully this guy's shit too. So before you drop out again, what's your final word, bud?
Man, I've been interrupted by this thing so many times, I don't even know. I just know as soon as I start talking, it's going to cut me off.
Rural data, man.
But yeah, give us a holler if you're after, farm fresh eggs, chickens. I've also got some geese for sale. No, just kidding. But it's noisy.
They are.
But anyway, yeah, we're just doing layer chickens this summer. We're going big on layer chickens. Holler if you need some layer chickens or layer chicks.
And there he goes again. Yeah, guys, follow him over there at Rebel Poultry on TikTok. Be sure to catch up with him. And if nothing else, just go see all the fun shit that he's doing, because he does have some really good content on it. It's pretty damn impressive what he's doing with those crosses there. It was impressive enough that he was one of the first interviews that I got on the show, and enough for me to chase him down and harass him to get him back on. So definitely worth checking out, even if you don't actually have to make a TikTok account to go and watch videos on TikTok too. So you can just go to tiktok.com on your browser on your computer and look up Rebel Poultry, find him over there. Even if you don't want to sign up and put your stuff out there, put it on your phone, you don't have to. So, all right, folks, that said, does anybody have any final questions or thoughts before I wrap this up? I've got to get the audio side uploaded too, and get that all kicking and rolling, because I've got some more stuff I've got to get done today too. So I appreciate everybody being over there in the comments. It's been nice and active today. If you like this stuff, be sure to share it. Be sure to follow the YouTube channel and share it with your friends and family that are interested in this kind of stuff. Really would help us out. Like I said, if I get that 1,000 followers on YouTube by the time I hit episode 50, it's going to be a big prize in the giveaway. So that's the incentive. Let's get us there. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys around. I'll see you on Telegram. I'll see you on Nostr. I'll see you on all the fun places. If you missed some of this, be sure to hit that replay. Great episode, despite the disruptions we had here and there. And hope you guys all enjoyed. All right, guys, as I have started to like to say, keep your knives sharp and your mind sharper. Peace out, y'all.